We are lacing up our glass sneakers with ankle support. Of course, this is Cinderella Stories. There's no princes allowed. We're just talking about the pure pressure of the Women's March Madness tournament. I'm Savanna Hamilton. This is Ashley Docking, and we're excited to break it all down.
We know that we couldn't have this conversation without us.
Absolutely
I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, we had to have our voice in it.
Not inviting us to the party.
Our opinion.
We're crashing it.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Ashley, there's been so much excitement around the women's tournament, especially over the past couple of years. But what is kind of like something that you're looking at that's driving, your attention this year specifically? There's no Caitlin, there's no Angel in this.
I was more seeing if the general interest and intrigue would still be there now that the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark rivalry had gone away. Which teams would emerge as interesting characters? Which players would step up after that? Would there still be as many eyes on it as there were before? And the answer, ding, yes.
Yep.
We still love to see it. I think people forget, Savannah, that like only 3 years ago were the women allowed to use the March Madness moniker.
Facts.
Before it was like the no frills women's basketball tournament.
Let's not forget about the
no
weight
name
room.
Brand.
The weight room.
Like, all that stuff was only 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So the fact that we are here where we are now, and there's a number of people who are more interested in the women than the men.
Yep.
I never thought I'd see the day. Hallelujah. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Thank you. Because I love exactly where we are right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's like the most wonderful time of the year, truly, for me, because it's just like excitement. And this is also where emerging stars come out. Like Hailey Van Lith isn't a great example. Like she kind of emerged through the NCAA tournament when all the attention was on Angel. She really shined as like that lockdown defender. And so I think that you also see like kind of names and brands kind of emerge in the tournament itself. Even the Caitlin and Angel Reese quote, quote, rivalry,
right?
Like that really took shape when March Madness hit.
Absolutely.
So we're going to see more storylines kind of emerge as the tournament goes. That said, you already mentioned her name a little bit. JuJu Watkins. Okay. We got to just get straight into it.
Damn, JuJu.
What was your reaction other than like devastation?
Well, at first I was just like, okay, like she gets bumped and bruised. She's a big body. She's a 6-footer. They're not going to let her get any free lunches going to the rim early in the game.
Facts.
First quarter. I was like, okay, it's about to be a physical matchup. Let's see how this plays out. And then she was writhing in pain and she didn't get up. And I was like, okay, so after the initial reaction, I don't mean to laugh. I was like sitting there having a snack.
Stop.
I was sitting there having a snack and I was like, I wonder if she's on her period. Speechless. Okay, so
why would you say that?
Because this is a medical situation, okay? Let me put on my doctor's hat for a second.
Sure, Dr. Ashley.
Thank you very much. I am a professor, you know,
Doctor.
in some circles. At Seneca, they have it on my paycheck.
I know that's right.
College. I know that's right. Okay,
Get your
so
bag.
because in medicine, there's no studies done on women.
Yeah.
Historically,
No,
traditionally, periodically, there's like a little 1-2.
Yeah.
So there is now being increased research done on female athletes, and the propensity to tear their ACL is 2 to 6 times higher when they are ovulating. And now to take you to class a little bit, which I just learned this too, because like no one teaches us about ourselves when we were younger.
Nope.
And I don't want to age you when I was younger, but there's like 4 phases in your menstrual cycle. And I know Cinderella did not have this in mind when we started talking about NCAA March Madness.
I did not. No, she's going off script right now.
Follicular phase is when you're like, wake me up before you do. Everything's all good and blessed. The sun is out. You're de-thawing. And then you get into like the ovulation phase. And that's when you're like, jump on it. Blessed, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Love on the brain kind of situation. But during that ovulation time, that is when your ligaments stretch out.
Yeah.
And then that's when you have a higher propensity to tear your ACL. So that's why when JuJu went down, it's not a weird thing to think. Like it's a bit,
we're women here
it's
too.
a bit off the book a little bit, but I was literally like, oh, I wonder if because 6 times higher, more chance to tear your ACL when you're ovulating than not. And then for the rest of this class, the luteal phase is when you turn into an absolute gremlin under the bridge troll and just eat your life away before you know, it happens. So that was my initial thought.
That's a wild initial thought to have. I definitely did not have that initial thought when I saw the injury, but that's actually a good one to like kind of keep in the forefront of our minds of like, when we talk about women's sports, it includes women's bodies,
right?
And like that in menstrual cycle, and it really does impact.
Listen, the girls are going to the gym.
Yeah,
they're getting shots up. They're fighting for their school lives.
Yeah.
They're also menstruating, which hell on earth for some people. And they're doing it all while having to now they have NIL, but people that aren't in D1, they have like a part-time job.
Yeah.
They're, you know, they have boy or girl troubles. They have family issues, whatever the case may be.
They're
anyway,
lifing.
all that to say is that women are amazing.
But let's talk about
prayers up for JuJu.
Prayers
really
up
and
for JuJu,
truly.
prayers up for JuJu. I want to actually talk about the fact that like this could mean like she redshirts next season. I think it's likely she redshirts next season, especially in this era of NCAA athletes where NIL is on the table. I doubt this is going to impact her bag too much. It might a little bit because, you know, you're the most valuable when you're out there playing, but I don't think that this is going to like overall her brand. If anything, it's going to add to her lore, like Paige Beckers.
Right.
She also tore her ACL.
The
comeback story.
Yeah.
Like it's going to mount to the glory. And like, but what does this, listen, a little 1-2 rhyme. Comeback story mounts to the glory.
I'm
like,
dead.
Okay, come on now. But yeah, no. So and also if you look at the grand scheme of things, the WNBA and how long, you know, they're required to kind of wait until they enter the WNBA, arguably this might work in some teams' favors. And it's not off the table that it could work out even in the Toronto Tempo's favor.
What, that JuJu comes here?
Yeah, that JuJu.
Get me mousse, gel, and a hard brush right now. I want my hair in a slick back bun every day of my life if JuJu comes here. To the gods. I will. My hairline will recede 4 inches if she plays here during the course of her rookie contract. I swear to God, I will have a high and tight bun, and no one's gonna be able to tell me anything.
That was me. I wore my hair in a high tight bun.
When you played?
When I played. Can you not tell? Like, can you not tell?
I don't know. You look great.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
So do you.
Yeah, for sure. Move the bang.
Okay, leave me hanging. That's so awkward.
Move the bang. Let me see.
No.
Display your hairline. Reveal it to the masses. No.
Show yourself.
Okay, because I did like the sloppy white girl bun. I'm so upset about it.
Oh, you did that one?
I did. I was just like, I have no time.
You didn't. You did a slick back ponytail.
I didn't. Oof. I didn't. I did. It was back, but like by the end of it, it was like, did you go to the Science Center and touch that ball that electrocuted you a little bit? Do you know what I'm saying? That's like for the OGs anyway. RIP the Science Center.
Oh no, don't say
but
that.
When you put your hand on it and it was like, it conducted electricity, it went.
Yep.
I mean, like, it's fine. 16 hairs out of place, 12 points, 17 assists. It's all good.
Absolutely.
But it's part of the stats.
All right, let's switch gears.
Okay.
We have to talk about Jim Zulo because he was fired. This is a coach. He was fired after pulling a player's hair. Her name is Hailey Monroe. And it was reported, I got this from the Daily Mail, that Amaya Tompkins was the one that stepped in, who happens to be, reportedly, the coach's niece.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind that Coach Jim Zulo, is 81 years old, and now he's facing charges of harassment, second degree, and has been summoned by the courts, by the cops as a result of his actions. And this all happened at Northville High School after they just lost a significant game, enough to pull someone's hair. How crazy was that? Like, how insane was it to see a coach pulling a player's hair? I'm sorry. First of all, don't touch my hair.
First of all, yeah, there's different levels. There's layers. There's layers.
Do not touch my hair.
Yes.
Unless you are permitted to. But just out of anger, though.
So you meant?
No.
Really? Say it to the camera that you didn't mean that.
What did you think?
I loved it for you personally. Back to Mr.
She loves making me feel uncomfortable.
I might as well be Gen Z at this stage, to be honest. Mr. Zulu, what are you doing? My guy. Yeah. First of all, you can't be doing that. And I don't even know in which generation, which organization, which arena that would be permissible, to be honest with you. It's a crazy way to be like, I can't control my emotions out loud. I think when Maya stepped in, that's the appropriate person to do so. Because if there's a familial connection, there's obviously, there's an assumed deeper maybe respect, understanding, or also you're not the one that's going to pay repercussions for stepping in. Yeah. Right? That's always the thing. When you see the wrong thing in general, a lot of people are afraid of what's going to happen to them if they confront a person in power, right? It happens all the time. It happens in sports broadcasting all the time. You see people get treated crazy and you're just like, I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
Like on the side, because there's real repercussions, especially in Canada, scarcity for jobs, blah, blah, blah. I could go on for 10,000 years. There's a whole nother topic, but we're here for women's basketball right now. But that is the person that's going to stand up, and that there's power in that. And there is opportunity to face retribution. So I thought it was brave that she did that. I thought it was the right thing to do. I'm glad he was caught on camera. I'm glad he's fired. I hope he gets at least a fine, minimally. And if I was a mother in the stands, Savanna, would you be from the top?
I would be in
from
jail.
the top rope, Savanna Hamilton.
I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to jail now.
Yeah.
If you did that to, like, if I had a kid, this
Even
is
if
crazy.
it's like,
if you did it to my
honestly,
daughter,
I feel like even if it was like any kid on the team,
any kid on the team, oh, I would be like, I would be so ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that her teammate stepped in.
Yeah, protected her. They pushed her back.
Yeah, she literally had a hand on the back. You know what's crazy? If you watch the video,
yeah,
it's almost like the teammate predicted it coming because she put a hand on the back as he was still coming around. I was like, And so that got me thinking.
What else has he done?
What else has he done?
Yeah.
What else has he said? And this is what we talk about, like the pressures of what coaches do to players.
Right.
And imagine if you're a teenager going through like the awkward teenager phases and things. And then on top of that, you have a coach that's making you feel like that.
Yeah.
To the point he's comfortable pulling your hair. And then he's like, he's 81 years old.
I will say I have a couple crazy coach stories. One of my ex-soccer coaches was arrested for possession of child porn. He had 3 kids. His daughter was on my team. So you never know. And another one of my coaches was like actively seeking out relationships like with athletes.
Yeah.
So just from like a parent's perspective, just be in the room.
Keep your eyes
Keep your eyes
open.
peeled, locked. Assume the worst, hope for the best. And you know, God bless Maya.
Yeah, because as much as sports can be a safe space and everything that we talk about on the good side of things, sports can also be that space where it can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, for sure.
By these types of people who are in positions of power. And these are very, very vulnerable young student athletes. Whether you're in high school or university, you're still figuring everything out. You don't know what's appropriate sometimes or what's not appropriate, but then you always have that gut instinct, but you never know how to act on it.
Yeah.
Especially when there's somebody controlling your minutes in your future because they're playing for scholarships. They're not playing for fun here. Like, yeah, for sure it's fun, but like they're playing with something on the line as well.
Hailey Van Lith.
Hailey Van Lith. She came out and, you know, she spoke about her mental health when she was going through the NCAA system.
I got exposed to the media and social media at such a young age. I really struggled with mental health things. When I was younger and in college, I was suicidal. I was heavily medicated, and I felt trapped, and I didn't. And you would never know because I was having a ton of success on the court, but internally and in life in general, like I was ready to be done.
What did you, when she talked about that, she was in the locker room, she was hot, she was sweaty. When you heard her say that, yeah, but she's like, she's happy now.
It was in the heat of the moment. I think, man, it was really powerful because prior to the locker room conversation where she went in depth a little bit more about her mental health status, when I'm assuming it's when she said it was like when she was younger, so like the end of high school when she was playing with Louisville is kind of the time frame, even though she wasn't exactly specific on like the years or whatever, which is fine. But I thought it was a really powerful moment and a message. I don't know how much you're like into like religion and all that stuff. That was like the main part of her message.
Definitely.
That she feels like she's a vessel from God and that she was put here to be able to, you know, bring the message about perseverance and like
and her faith saved her basically, like literally saved her life.
So essentially my initial thought was like, again, reiterating the fact that you never know what someone's going through. Yeah. Because when she was with Louisville, she was killing it. That's how she became Hailey Van Lith. Yeah. Is that everyone knew who she was from Louisville. People who are new or casual fans, and trust me, on this show, we don't use casual as a derogatory term. Yeah. You're allowed to be a casual fan. That's what sports are made of, is people who like catch a game, catch an F1 race, catch whatever. She went to LSU after the fact and like, she kind of got outshone, and not in a good or bad way. It's just like Angel Reese was there, Flau'jae Johnson was there. Like they're big personalities. Kim Mulkey is your coach.
Great players.
The tournament comes around. If you remember last year, not as holding. You turn.
No wait, Ariana.
Oh, just holding space. Yeah. You turn around and Kim Mulkey's there in a shirt that looks like a basketball net. Like, what are you gonna do? You got to put up 40 and 20 to get attention. But like and then like last year with LSU too, there was like all that scandal and that expose about Kim Mulkey's former students coming out and saying she's like an awful person. And then it came out of the stuff a little bit more about when Brittany Griner was with her, when they were with Oregon? No, Baylor. When they're with Baylor, and she's like, don't ask, don't tell when it comes to like being gay or your sexual connotations, whatever the case may be. Anyway, all that to say, Hailey Van Lith again made another move. Now she plays with TCU, the Horned Frogs. And in that game where they advanced to the Sweet 16 for the first time, they were playing her old team, Louisville. She had 16 and 10. And then she went on to make this statement. So it was like historic across the board.
Yeah. So like it was definitely a moment for her. I know that like when it comes to NCAA athletes and mental health, like this is something that I told you when we were just even on the production call getting into this, that like, you know, I know somebody that was a friend of mine that unfortunately took her life, and she was an NCAA athlete herself. And so I know the other side of it too. And kind of to what we were talking about with even JuJu, life happens for these NCAA athletes, and nobody really dives into just how intense and stressful, and that fact that you don't really know what someone's going through just in life in general, for sure. But like add the layer of a schools pressuring you. And like when my good friend, like when she was at Northwestern, Jordan Hankins, when she did it, like, you know, there wasn't even, social media was still there, but it wasn't even as prominent as it is now. But obviously there was lots of factors that were associated with Jordan's case specifically.
Yeah.
But it's something that's real. It's something that's heavy. I don't shy away from talking about mental health. Like, you know, even when I had my knee injury, I was not in a great place mentally either. Like, it was my first year university. I was so excited to play, and all of a sudden you're what feels like your life, because when you say ball is life, when you literally say ball is life and you don't know what's on the other side of basketball, that's, you really think that's all you have. And so it sucks when it's not going your way. If there's like pressures like from your coaches, your teammates, like your professors, and then anything outside influences. In Jordan's case, you know, she was part of like a sorority that was not treating her well. You don't know what people are going through.
Right.
And like, I'm happy that she said something, because I think any time that an athlete with that type of platform, especially coming off of huge game, has the chance to really speak up and make it so personal and like meaningful, I just think it's beautiful. I think that it's a conversation that needs to be had, and it just opens up the space for more athletes to feel seen and safe. And know that they're not alone.
And especially in this age of athlete empowerment, I forget who was talking about it. They were referring to the WNBA CBA that's about to be up, and like how that's gonna work. Oh my gosh, the person, I can see them, like we'll put them on the screen right here. Conjure it up. That person. But basically the conversation was about when they were playing, when they were coming up, the athletes didn't feel like they really had a choice, because like they needed the league more than the league needed them, and now it's a 180. And we talk about how like Gen Z and like younger generations, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They will ask for whatever they want. They will say whatever it is. They will make the awkward situation loud and awkward. Facts. As opposed to us being like, okay, I'm going to just head out. They'll be like, that was weird.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, no, I didn't mean it. No. They just stand on business. And so when you have players like Hailey and even JuJu and Paige and what she represents, Angel being unapologetic for herself, like the CBA negotiations are going to be very interesting. The players are going to ask for the moon and the sun and the stars and then some. And so I'm excited to see how that plays out.
Yeah, me too. No, I think that it's such a, like, so much steps of progress have happened, and now that it's kind of just out there, it's never been louder, it's never been more clear that mental health is health, period. Like, I think that we're, the sports in general, but definitely on the women's side of things, is definitely heading in the right direction when it comes to mental health.
The worst news in my life was finding out that actually like going for a walk and going to the gym and drinking water was like actually good for you. Turns out the things that people are preaching, like if you are in a good headspace, life is better.
So
crazy.
Working out. A concept.
Goddamn.
Former athletes, man.
No, awesome. Lazy as hell.
So lazy.
So good.
All right, let's switch gears.
Okay.
You know this world very well. Currently, there is a 14-year-old player that is a part of the league. How do we feel about this? Because at what age for professional soccer, and we know that the NWSL really rejigged their CBA and like everything, at what age is a player too young to play professionally, regardless of their talent, their skill? They could be the next up and coming like Candace Parker or whatever. Like, what age is too young?
Okay, so this story comes from Gotham FC. It's a soccer club in the NWSL. They had a 14-year-old girl take the pitch for them. Her name is McKenna Whittam, and I was surprised. Okay, first of all, from like a strictly athletic standpoint, I don't care how good you are.
Yeah.
14-year-old's not beating me off the dribble. They're not beating me to an air ball. They don't have that grown woman strength yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. They don't have your grown woman strength. Like, you don't have an hourglass figure yet. Like, but body, I'm not losing a one-on-one battle. I'll tell you that right now.
Facts.
Period. In terms of, if that gives you a little insight into the kind of athlete that I am. second, I think just from like a development in terms of a holistic person kind of point of view, what does she have in common with these women? Immediately they're aunties, which is fine and cute and cool. But am I now like navigating my tone and the subject matter in the locker room because our 14-year-old teammate is here out of respect and I'm a good teammate?
Yeah.
We're all going out. We're all having like real big girl issues, wins, whatever, good and bad. And then she's there having like, I don't know, is she even allowed to have a power, like a Red Bull?
A juice box?
Yeah, like I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I love the fact that she's dedicated to the cause so much that they feel like her talent is exceptional enough to be on the pitch with these women who are all world players.
Yeah.
Like Marta plays in the NWSL, for God's sakes. Barbara Banda, Trinity Rodman. Like these are real ballers. So I'm glad that she's dedicated herself enough to that cause. But also, like, don't you want to go to the mall and get Annie Ann's? Like, don't you want a strawberry lemonade? Do you know what I'm saying? And maybe I'm just built different than her. And that's someone who's just exceptional and they live and breathe the game and they would never be stopped, even if their parents suggested that they go do something outside of the game.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little young for me.
Yeah. Well, what if you were a parent?
Yeah.
And NWSL comes calling and, you know, it's a good offer too. Like, don't forget the money element to this too. You could, you know, fund whatever education she might want in the future if she even decides to go down that.
They don't have to go anymore.
Facts. Like, you don't got to do that.
Yeah.
Which is like, and then that's another conversation to itself. Like, what's the benefit of like, you know, going through the NCAA system and kind of taking a slower, quote, slower route to get to a professional league versus like, but we also see it in men's soccer all the time where they just completely skip school. They drop out of high school and just go straight pro.
Yeah, they get tutored and then they can go back and get their degree if they
but
want to.
Either way, money is on the table.
Yeah.
And so if you're a parent, would you let your 14-year-old phenomenal daughter play in a professional league with all these stars?
Yeah, and I'd turn into the most obnoxious like stage momager in the history of the world. I'd be like, you know what McKenna needs? She needs a wardrobe budget for me. If you're gonna put me on the Jumbotron while I'm at her matches, I'm gonna need a deal with Nike. I'm gonna need a deal with North Face. I'm gonna need a
too small. I need a deal with Chanel.
Sure, Chanel as well. I'm gonna need Prada. I'm gonna need Sephora. I'm gonna need Dior Beauty, and then also McKenna's gonna need a Benz to drive around in, but since she doesn't have a license, you can just put it in my name. You just go ahead and put it in my name.
Just go right ahead. Yeah. I actually control the bank account too. That's so crazy.
Also, I want the 27,000 square foot suite at the Satai in Miami. Like, I want all the things.
So you're just like have fun, kid. Like, throw her out there.
I don't know. I'm a problem. Is what I am.
You're problematic. We have already established that. At least we know.
Episode 1, problematic.
Well, but I guess but then as you said, like if you are her teammate,
right,
or even more importantly, I guess her competitor, like I'm the same way as you. I'm like, there's ain't no way if you're playing on the same like level as me.
Yeah.
And you're there at 14 years old, and are you doing anything? I'm shutting you down. I'm targeting you to make sure.
Savannah Hamilton.
It's true though. Like,
now Savannah, hold on.
Not Savannah, hold on. Are you gonna allow a 14-year-old to show you up? No, you're not.
Now Savannah,
if you've done this your entire career, you're not just gonna like.
You said targeting her.
Wait,
you said target.
If she's my match, yeah.
Targeting.
If she's my match, it's not a target. Okay, there's called matchups. Like, of course.
So you're gonna be a sniper.
I might
on
play
the bench,
even a little extra harder.
Oh my days. Oh my. See, that's
because you're not showing me up.
Yeah,
it's different. It hits different versus like if it was like one of the a solid.
Oh, it's
player,
Crystal Dunn.
If it was,
it's Crystal Dunn coming through. It's
Yeah, but it hits. I'm just saying it hits.
Croy Bethune.
You have pride. That's why all these athletes have egos. They have pride. Like that's what makes them so great. Mm-hmm. So you can't tell me that they're not gonna like make sure that a 14-year-old's not going to show them up in any way, shape, or form. And as you said, there's different, like there's strength levels.
Yeah,
it's
a lot.
Maturity levels.
Yeah.
I just feel like, and also like honestly, like as a 14, like would a 14-year-old even fit in? Like
at 14, I was sneaking out of my house, thanking God my parents didn't have a ring light, drinking at a park. So we are not the same, McKenna. I applaud you. Good for you. Good for you, girl.
Good for her. Absolutely. I just hope that if anything, her teammates take her under the wing.
Yeah, it'll be like an aunt. I think it'll be like an auntie situation.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you just have 20 aunts taking care of you.
Like, no, you're not going out. Yeah. Hey, we love you. You're not coming out with us.
Or
like,
here's this fake ID though.
Oh, see, you're the bad auntie, which is the favorite auntie, but you're the bad auntie.
Yeah.
You gotta have a mixture of like good cop, bad cop. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. I wonder which one I am. I wonder which one you are. That's so crazy. So Ashley came up with this hilarious segment. So kudos to you, Ashley. I've been thinking about this all night.
Okay.
This is called words that you have been weaponizing.
Yeah.
Ashley,
So
explain the rules of the segment here.
I just feel like when a phrase comes up or a catchphrase comes up, you sometimes just latch onto it so heavily, and sometimes you take advantage of it to the point where you're using it out of context and you just expect people to know, or in my case, using it to like get out of things, even though I know it's not the appropriate thing to do. So my confession is, Savanna, that the word that I've been weaponizing is capacity. I have been running through that word. Ooh! I have been absolutely.
That's a good one.
Because here's the thing. What are you going to say? What you say that to someone? So, Ashley, can you make the rundown for the show? So, and I don't have the capacity. You're going to be like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I don't have the capacity. It doesn't mean anything, but it also means nothing. It also means everything.
Yeah. It's like my plate is full.
Yeah.
There's nothing left I could like add on to it.
And like no one.
It's not a hard no. It just means that my life is too busy right now.
Or you don't know how small my plate is. I can
And
be
you
eating
don't
off
know
a little
the size of
side
my
dish,
plate,
and
you
the
know?
butter rolls on it with
AKA,
the butter.
I've been sleeping all day. I
just
need to
have
catch up on my White Lotus episodes. I don't have the capacity.
I have been weaponizing capacity. Not against you, actually. I promise you that. Swear. I would never.
No.
After this, I won't because
No,
I can't.
I told you I didn't have the capacity this past weekend.
So I have been weaponizing the word capacity, and actually I highly
love that word.
highly recommend it because it works every time.
It's a great out.
Every time. Capacity.
I'm gonna have to use it more. I mean, I already use it, but maybe I'm gonna use it a little bit more. The word that I have been weaponizing, which I was a little bit more on the nose with, because I was thinking that, like, you know,
You just say it all the time.
I just say it all the time. Delulu.
Oh no.
I call myself Delulu first and
Okay.
foremost.
Yeah.
And then if something like is just like absolutely bonkers, a situation, how someone's moving, I would just be like, it's giving Delulu. I'm Delulu this weekend, like blah blah
Right.
blah. Like I have so much going on, like it's crazy.
But do you mean it in the positive context? Because I feel like when people start
and
using,
sometimes it's positive.
because like the short form is it's of delusional, and so
Yeah.
it's like Delulu was meant to be like think of the craziest things, be delusional about it, and it'll come true. Almost
It's
like
both.
manifestation.
It's everything. It's everything. Because
Are
like,
we still using that word? There's Youngs on set. Youngs.
Delulu?
Are we still using Delulu?
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Young
clear.
check.
You're
Okay.
clear.
Yeah, no,
you're
please.
clear. Vibe check.
Hey, I can tell you that myself, okay? I'm not too far off removed this generation, okay? I'm a zillennial, actually.
I hate that for you. That you said that out loud.
Apparently, I'm a cusp, but
Okay.
whatever.
It's
Anyways.
Delulu, but I like
it's
that.
Delulu.
So you're going through it, is what I'm gathering.
Well, yeah, kind of, but like also like not. Just in general, I
Yeah.
love the word Delulu. Or like if I'm watching a TikTok and like I'm sending it to my sister, I'm like, this is Delulu. Or
Right.
like, or sometimes it could be so great. Like you said, like it could be also like it's almost like the word sick. Like, but no one says sick anymore. Nobody says sick anymore. It's Delulu.
Young check.
Nobody says sick.
Yes.
Right?
Sick. No.
You say sick? Okay.
Oh,
well,
it's
I
made
guess
its way back.
It's made it a full 360. I'm still cool.
It's a beautiful thing.
Un-
Nature is healing. The Youngs are using our vernacular. Bitch.
Until our youngs on set tell me otherwise, I am still cool. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Listen,
Continue.
that's not yours to judge.
It's fair. I am a judger, though. I do love to pass judgment. I will say.
Also, you know what? Another one I absolutely love, and you like, okay, this is like a choose your own adventure ending, but just the phrase, it's giving blank.
Are you over it?
Oh, no, I love it.
Oh, you're into
I
it.
still love it.
Yeah, you're
it's
beneath
giving,
it. It's pummeling you. You just can't help yourself.
Do you need like a minute?
No, you said you're not over it,
I'm
so
not
you're
over
under it.
Okay, wow. So anyways,
Hello? Like,
I love the phrase it's giving. It's
Okay.
giving like, and you could just be so descriptive about like whatever you want.
what's
Like,
this giving right now?
This is giving vibes. Like this is giving, I don't know, like a moment. Like you could use any term. This is giving women's basketball. It's giving Ashley Docking is Delulu. It's giving
It's giving it all.
it's giving it all.
Giving you everything you didn't know you needed.
That's what
it's giving.
It's giving Dr. Docking is what it's giving.
MD, PhD, MCC, Esquire.
All right.
I don't know. I don't have any of those. I went to college. I'm a creative.
Anyways, those some of my favorite
Okay, I
phrases.
love.
Yeah. You're judging me even though like that's crazy. That's so crazy. I don't have the capacity for your judgment.
I listen and I do judge. I will say that. At least
That
privately.
one's getting old now.
I listen and
you
I don't judge.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new thing is I listen and I do judge.
Yeah.
And I did judge you. It's fine.
Good for you.
All right.
Let's go back to our playing days for a second. we just talked about how it would be like to have like a 14-year-old as a teammate. What would it have been like to have you as a teammate? See? Oh, and she was being mean. She's like, you're targeting 14-year-olds. No. What would it have been like?
Well,
Story time.
If you like to win, it would have been fine.
Oh, that's obviously.
If you liked to win, it would have been fine. Here's the thing.
We would have been great. We would have been a great duo.
When I was younger, I like in my first couple years of university, I didn't understand that not everyone had the same like drive or appetite to win as me.
Yeah.
And that was really hard for me to come to terms with because like, why are you here then?
Literally.
But it's also like college in Canada, so it's different than like D1.
I don't care.
I know you don't, and I don't either. But there is perspective that needs to be paid.
For sure.
So yeah, I wasn't a favorite of some because I believe in accountability.
Yeah.
And also when you're playing basketball, if someone makes a mistake or there's like a quick change to be made, like you don't have time to sit and hold your hand and like walk you through every aspect of it. It's like a quick Savanna, get back.
Yeah.
Savanna, what are you doing? Hello?
Yeah.
And then you move on and you move forward. I mean, at one point someone did complain to my coach about me. Hello, Marcy Scribe. You're the best. Love you. And they were like, I guess it was based on like the way that I like talked to them or something along the lines. And they had a public referendum about me. Like, who?
And now she has a podcast, everyone.
No, there's like,
and
who?
she was a mean girl. She was a bully, and now she's a podcast.
No, I was not a bully. Don't do that. I was not a bully. But they were like, if anyone doesn't like the way that Ashley like talks to them, like now, like on the court specifically,
like, get it out, air it out now.
Now's the time to. And I was like, and she caught me by surprise. I didn't know. It was like the worst surprise of my life.
That's crazy.
And I was like,
not an intervention.
Actually.
Not an intervention
Ashley
about your on-court playing style and calling your teammates out. That's crazy.
So I sat there like this.
You're like.
And I looked at every single one of them. No, I was like, go ahead then.
One.
Silence. It was beautiful.
Yo, the way you control
no
your
one
energy said it all. No, I don't care. You are a mean girl. You just take it. No. I'm not saying that like you're using it, you're weaponizing it. I'm not saying that.
I wasn't. No.
Don't. It was coming from a good place.
No, don't do that.
It was coming from a good place.
No, I wasn't a mean girl. I was like, if you have something to say it with your chest then, and let's talk about it. Okay. No one said anything, and then my coach looked at them and said, all right, you guys are on your own then. And we moved and we kept on going with the practice. So that's the kind of teammate that I was when I was in my youth.
Okay. We love that.
What about you? Besides recovering from your rickety racketies.
I know, the rickety rackety knee. Man, I honestly, like, I won't say laid back. I was pretty chill. Like, I don't know. Like, I was very fortunate to play on good teams that wanted to win. So that was almost out of the question.
Yeah.
There was times though, like, don't even, like, if you push me, I will shove, like not physically, but I will like shove you back. Basically. Yeah. Oh, no. I told you this. I'm chill until I'm not.
Right. You go from 0 to 100.
Until winning is on the line.
Right.
And especially if I feel like, something can be improved or better and it's like someone's choosing to not.
Right.
I will try to hold it in as best as I can and say it, like, obviously first time you say it like, hey, like, pull them aside. Hey, we got to do this like that. Oh, maybe you messed up on this play. We got to do it like this. But if you are coming for me on something that, like, I know that it's actually on your lack of effort.
Right.
Oh, it's done.
It's effort.
It's effort. It's effort. Yeah.
And intention.
Because why wouldn't you want to? Do you not want to win? Winning takes 110% effort.
Yeah.
But like I said, I rarely had that problem on my team. So I think I've remembered 2 distinct times I've ever really called out a teammate. One was in high school, actually. I was the captain, and one of the rookies she was very talented, but she had definitely a big ego right away.
Yeah.
And I had to check her a little bit.
It was me.
Because it was actually Ashley talking.
It was actually me.
And I had to just check her a little bit. And like I called her out in the middle of a game on court. And luckily she snapped back and she was like, okay, whatever. She's receptive. But thank God. But like same time, like, like I said, I'm chill until like I'm not, and that is when you will see like a different side of me. And I think it's almost like in a way like not more jarring, but it's unexpected from me. Mm-hmm. Like, and then one time there was actually, so I was teammates with my twin sister. Yeah. You gotta keep that in mind too. So one time somebody was coming at my twin, and we just lost a game by like, it was one of those buzzer beater ones.
Right.
And she was coming at my twin, my twin was phenomenal in high school. Like she was like a double bucket, like a game, every single game. Yeah. She was like holding her team. She was the star of her team. And one of the other girls just like, and she's known for a bit of an attitude. She decided to bark at my sister, and I told her straight up. I looked at her. I said, "Shut the fuck up."
Oh.
And like, I don't
No,
swear.
Savanna, hold on.
No, literally, I snapped. I snapped. Like,
it's always easier to defend someone else for some reason.
It is, but then exactly, it is
Yeah.
easier to defend someone else. But like, if push comes to shove and you're coming after me, you're not going to see it coming that I'll come back for you.
Wow, Savanna, not the one or the two. I love this about us.
I'm a little soft, but like, but then don't push me. Don't push me.
Okay, she said what she said.
Yeah,
so what do you do if there's like an old person beside you at the grocery store and they like put the grocery stick and they touch some of your groceries? Like, do you snap or do you have a little bit of like composure?
I just remember my breathing exercises and then we're good again.
You realize there's cameras everywhere, and based on your public persona, you don't want to be caught on camera.
Yeah.
It can be used against you later.
Absolutely.
Aligned.
Okay, we just talked about what type of teammates we were in real life. In a hypothetical,
Yeah.
in the spirit of March Madness as well, we got to bring her back here, okay? Which type of coach would you be? Would you be Kim Mulkey, Coach Gina Auriemma, or Coach Dawn Staley? If you had to choose between the three, which coach would you be?
I feel like this is definitely cheating, but I would be a combination of Kim and Gino.
That's cheating. Choose one.
So as I was saying, I'd be a combination between Kim and Gino.
No, okay, you're leaving Kim, first of all. I was going to choose for you.
Kim.
You're giving Kim. It's giving Kim.
Minus like the gay hate, hopefully.
Well, yeah,
Minus
that
the
part.
gay
That
hate.
part's Delulu.
Yeah.
and
Okay,
not
so
the good type.
Kim for like the unapologetic attitude.
Yeah.
I think she just is who she is. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
Like the fashion is crazy, but I do like to get a little fit off periodically. But the only reason I said Gino was because did you see at the press conference when Paige left for the final time at the home UConn game? She got up, she did her press conference, and she's just like so relaxed, so chill, so calm. He starts to like choke up, and he gets a little. He's like, and like starts to get a little water because it's like the last time that he's gonna sit and like be there with her.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm, Aries, Cancer rising. So, and my one Wiccan friend told me that means.
Okay, we're not going to bring religion into this right now.
Religion.
Let alone Wiccan. But okay, continue.
My one Wiccan friend told me that Aries, Cancer rising means that I'm like Aries outside, but like Cancer inside.
Yes.
So like very actually
by the way,
sensitive.
Snapchat could have told you that too.
Sensitive, calm, da-da-da-da-da. So that's why I said a combination.
Okay.
Will you allow it?
No.
Okay.
Kim. Ashley Kim Docking.
Okay.
Doctor. Sorry.
Okay, Dr. Dr. Mulkey. You're Dawn.
I'm Dawn.
Yeah, you would say that.
Yeah.
But where's your
Prada?
Prada?
Why would you say that?
Where's
I
your
would say
Prada?
that.
Where's your Gucci?
Okay, that's
Where's
where
your
I
Gucci?
was gonna go next because listen, I prioritize my money in traveling, but if I
Okay,
prioritize my
here we
money
go.
more in
Brokey.
why do you think I'm doing this podcast with you? If I prioritize my money in bags, which to be quite honest, like I don't care for like designer stuff too much, but
Right.
like if I was to, that would be my style. Like her fits are crazy. I love her fits. Like. And like it's just even like forget the designer part of it, just the style itself speaks for like it's so expressive, it's so like I don't know, trendy, and she's so cool. And then she's a former player, she's an Olympian. Like if I wish I was everything she was, basically. And so and the way that she really has her players' backs, like the ones that she really champions, and the way that she gets her players to the league, like that's the type of coach that I see. Kind of like seeing the long-term game, like of course like Kim, Gino, they also get the game within the game as well.
Right.
But Dawn, she was there. She
Gino arguably more successful at UConn, but regardless.
No, I mean, yeah, obviously.
But regardless, I mean, there's 11 national titles on my shelf.
Sure. But Dawn's on her way, well on her way there. And she has a few Olympic golds.
Yeah. Let me not talk
WNBA
shit. Let me not talk shit about Dawn. I love her.
96 Dream Team gold.
Yeah.
So,
she's a real one too.
She's definitely a real one. And she's like, even her personality, and I see her like
funny.
speaking, she's funny.
Yeah.
She can get heated. She's a little bit of everything. And like, especially when push comes to shove,
she's a shove.
She'll shove.
When push comes to shove, she'll
shove. And that's me.
So wrapping this up, what's your initial thought of just like the way the tournament has transpired so far? Any outlying observations that you've made? Just what is kind of got you into the tournament this year?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like it sucks because like JuJu's out so fast. So that was something I was really looking forward to, like really following that storyline. But outside of that, like something that I have noticed is that there's been like blowouts. Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah.
Like first round. This is why actually even when we decided to do this podcast, we're like, let's maybe not touch too much on the first round too heavy, just because
The first two, yeah.
the first two rounds exactly. Like just because like what are we going to talk about? Like the people who are expected to win are winning.
Yeah.
Like let's just fast forward to the next round, basically when things get a bit more competitive.
Yeah.
I will say I was peeping the Alabama Maryland game.
Yeah, it was
I
so good.
thought that was so good. Like
Yeah.
that is NCAA basketball, especially for such an early round, and the way that the tournament has trended. I've been loving like that part of it. That's been great. But I can't wait to really dive into like the meat of the game a little bit later, because we're going to see more competitive matches down the road.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go with the thing that stood out to me the most is Kiki Iriafin. So she's on USC, and to kind of talk about what you're saying, the way that the tournament has changed is that there are blowouts. Like USC dominated their game even without JuJu. They won 96-59 or something ridiculous like that.
Crazy.
Like they killed them.
Yep.
Kiki had 36 points. You had Avery Howell. She had 6 assists. She was one of 3 players on the team with 6 assists. She also had 18 points.
Yeah.
So these teams are constructed of players that have depth and they have ability. Think of like the Kate Martins of the world for more of like a historic context,
Yeah.
if you will. Like the role players, the sidekicks, the depth, they are the ones that are kind of bringing things to fruition as well. So while everyone loves a star, we know that you can't win a championship with 1, even 2 players, which is why the big 3 is such a thing. And
Yeah.
sorry to reference the MMBA. You can find me later. You can find me later
I
for
need the
talking
button. I
about
need the
men's
button.
sports. But I just think that like when USC goes to play Kansas State, they don't have JuJu. It's going to be such a big deal that she's not there. It's really actually truly like heartbreaking that we don't get to see her in this big moment because of what everyone had hoped she would accomplish.
Yeah.
But there's so much depth inside those teams that are ranked 5th and higher.
Yeah.
Specifically to your point, is like a team like Liberty, they hung around for a little while. They made it a game. That's amazing. I love that for them. But like that's the next progression of the women's tournament.
Yeah.
Is that there's more of a influx of talent, more of a saturation of talent, and then we start getting those big upsets like we have in the men's tournament.
Yeah.
And then that's when things like really take off.
But hear me out. Like, how much does NIL change what we're seeing right now? Because before, I thought that there was a bit more close games, especially in the first round, second round. Of course, there's always gonna be blowouts.
Yeah,
But
of course.
and you will get Cinderella stories.
Yes.
But I just feel like it was a bit more competitive in the earlier rounds.
Right.
And so, do you think NIL has anything to do with the talent that's being attracted at the I guess like the bigger schools right now?
Yeah, of course.
Or what would you attribute to that?
I think it's part and parcel. I think NIL organizations and businesses, they want to be connected with teams that have good name recognition, big coaching names.
Yeah.
Don, Gino,
Everything's a
Kim,
brand.
Everything is a possibility to make
Yeah.
more money, and visibility matters. But what I would love to see, to be honest, I don't know the chances of this, is I would love a big brand or like someone with a ton of money to go into a team that like, I don't know, take Cal, for example.
Yeah.
Go to Cal and be like, we are going to sponsor every single one of the athletes that you recruit with X amount of dollars throughout the entirety of the season. Now go recruit knowing you have money. And then I would be like, I'm Sephora, for example. They've been so involved in women's sports.
I love it.
I'm Sephora, for example. Sephora and Cal, we go together real bad. We have block parties. We give everyone makeup. We are known part and parcel with this team that hopefully ascends into a more positive situation in the tournament next year.
Yeah.
Like that's kind like almost like a booster,
Yeah.
but a brand.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I
That
was a
would be
brand and I wanted to
sick.
make a splash.
Interesting.
Because
That would
all the
be-
girls on the teams you're
'cause-
talking about, South Carolina,
Yeah.
like UConn, they all are like Nike athletes, Adidas athletes, New
Yeah.
Balance athletes. Like they're already taken care of. So I
Yeah.
would go and try and find like diamonds in the rough and be like, here's this money, go recruit. Don't let NIL be a factor for not having people come to your program.
Yeah.
And then let's rise together, babe.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I think of like schools like even like a St. Bonaventure, or like like the just like lower class, even like South Dakota, or North Dakota. Like, what would it mean?
Just smaller programs.
Yeah, smaller programs. Colgate. What would it mean if a booster came in and just like gave them a bag?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have the power to completely flip around a program because you took money as a factor off the table.
You made money, no object.
Yeah.
And
And there's, hey,
1,000%.
any
And there's
athlete
only,
that
and the
comes
rosters
here,
are small.
and they're small.
It's not like football
So
where there's like
imagine you give
50 plus
every-
people. Lacrosse, there's like 40
Every
plus
athlete gets
people.
100K, like starting or whatever the money is. I'm sure big schools have even more money than that. But like, imagine if that's like the starting rate or whatever for a player going to like a Colgate or something like
Johnson
that.
and Johnson, where you at?
Facts.
Wouldn't you just be like, boom, Colgate, toothbrush,
And all of a sudden,
teeth whitening and
brand what?
and veneers for everybody?
Kentucky what? Louisville
Guys,
what?
we're all going to Turkey.
You know I love to invest in travel.
I don't need veneers. I don't need veneers.
Me
but
neither.
yes, we got the pearlies. But yeah, like imagine the team's like, okay, we have a surprise for you. Colgate sponsored us. We're gonna go play a friendly overseas in Turkey. We're all getting veneers and buckets. And that's how we're gonna secure more NIL
Veneers
for
and
every.
Welcome. Thank you for listening to Veneers and Buckets. This has been very fun.
Unhinged. We love it here.
Absolutely. Okay, with that said, though, we should probably wrap this thing up. Ash, this has been really fun. I'm looking forward to doing more episodes and diving more into the tournament with you.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
It's gonna be amazing.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Cinderella Stories, and check us back next week.